Era of the Wii was a beloved one by many. You could ask almost anyone if they had a Wii, and chances are they probably did. If you didn't have one, that would actually be pretty sad. Though with how popular it was, the people who didn't have one more than likely could say they at least used one with how many fun, innovative, and easy to understand multiplayer experiences there were. A large focus of the Wii was togetherness, and one way this was pushed further was the inclusion of Nintendo WFC, the online service for Wii and DS. The service was represented with this blue symbol. If you saw it on the cover of a game, then it meant that it was supported, and there were a lot of games that supported this, like over 100, so obviously some worked well with it, and while some others, not so well. But the one game that saw the most widespread usage amongst Wii owners was none other than Mario Kart Wii, a games community who has stayed around since 2008, so grab a Wii wheel and maybe some leftover pizza as we delve into the world of Mario Kart Wii Online. For a little background, Mario Kart DS was where Nintendo WFC first debuted, but interestingly enough, despite being the first game to use the service, there were no initial plans to support online play. It was only until later into development when the idea of online play was revisited, which was received positively. However, there was one glaring issue, which was that the end of 2005 deadline was approaching, and with only 6 months left of development time, many ideas had to be put off to the side to meet time constraints. So while developing Mario Kart Wii, there was a lot of focus put onto developing the online mode. They wanted to make it a core part of the game, and when E3 2007 rolled around, one of the main appeals was being able to race against people from all around the world. So, just how easy was it to access in the final game? Well, just by looking at the menu, it's really easy to spot, just like the Mario Kart channel, which I'll get into later. Going into the Nintendo WFC menu, you're greeted by the all-so-familiar spinning globe, accompanied by a light blue mist and some pretty chill music to give off a mysterious yet futuristic feel. This globe plays a bigger role than just spinning in the background, as it's how you and your opponents are represented. If you live in New Jersey, then your Mii will appear in New Jersey, and this stays true with every city, state, and country. It creates this feeling of connectivity. It's you versus the world, and your Wii is the bridge between the two. There are other choices of worldwide, regional, or just checking what your friends are doing. Mario Kart Wii had a total of 4 playable modes for online, with the 2 main ones being Versus Race and Battle Mode, which are accessible from this menu, while the other 2 are accessible via the Mario Kart channel. The gameplay of the modes are simple, and with how matchmaking was prioritized based on versus rating and battle rating, it would allow pretty much anyone to join in and play a fun match that would be competitive relative to their skill. After selecting a character in Kart, you are brought to the aforementioned globe to see who your opponents are one by one. It's always a fun time to see people's Miis and what country they're from before the game. I've already rambled on enough about the globe or whatever, so let's actually get into the gameplay of it. Course selection is done through the roulette. You can vote for any of the 32 tracks or 10 battle stages depending on which mode you're playing. But of course, if you're indecisive, then you can always vote on random. After everyone votes, the roulette begins, and whichever track gets picked, you guessed it, is the track you're going to be playing on for that round. Races actually run pretty smoothly on WFC. Sure, you might have to wait a little bit for the race to start because someone has a dodgy Wi-Fi, but at least you get to listen to this cool loop while you wait for them to finally load in. In all seriousness, lag was never a big issue, as the gameplay remains normal on your own screen, and to others it would appear about the same. Now if you're the person I mentioned earlier with bad internet, then it may seem normal to you, but you'll look like whatever the hell this is. Mario Kart Wii is pretty chaotic as is, but playing with up to 12 other players real time can lead to some hilarious moments like desperately trying to pass the thundercloud or bumping people off the track mid-air. Alongside the generally quick intermissions and rewarding aspect of VR ties the online versus races together into this super fast paced and addicting mode. As for the battle mode, it's alright I guess. Since the battle ends after a set amount of time, then it kind of drags on for a while. It's still fairly solid, but there isn't much reason to play over versus race, and that's pretty evident by the fact that almost nobody plays it. There's more to Mario Kart Wii's online than versus and battle mode. Using the Mario Kart channel, you can view the time trials records of your friends, download ghosts, and compete in the all-new tournament mode. Anyone with a Mario Kart Wii disc can download the channel straight to their Wii menu, and it would provide updates about upcoming tournaments and ghosts received by friends. These updates would be displayed via the channel's banner alongside a message being sent to the Wii message board if you had opted into that service. Not only can you compete with your friends for the best time, you can now compete with the entire world. The way rankings would be displayed was unique. Instead of having a leaderboard of everyone's times, Mii's would be displayed on a graph from left to right, with left being slower times and the right being the faster ones. Wherever you may place, you can race a rival ghost. A rival ghost will be ever so slightly faster than your current best time as to give you tough competition without leaving you in the dust. There was also the new Ghost Race mode that would put you up against a random ghost. You're given one shot at it and can't restart if you mess up. Each win and loss would be recorded, and honestly, I could play this mode for hours. Getting that win number higher is just so incredibly fun. While the Mario Kart channel mostly focused on ghosts and time trials, it brought in a completely new way to play the game, with that being tournaments. Tournaments would be hosted fairly often and last for 10 days. They would have you complete special objectives such as racing on Mushroom Gorge in reverse or driving through hoops. There was even a brand new map created with its own piece of music that was available exclusively for tournaments. If you haven't heard of Galaxy Colosseum, then I can't blame you. In fact, you'd be in the majority of Mario Kart Wii players, since it was available 3 times, with the first being June of 2008 and the last being seen in March of 2010. Tournaments were all about completing the objective as fast as possible. Unfortunately, the game wouldn't save ghost replays, but the rankings still work the same as they do with time trials, and with there being different strategies for each tournament, pretty much anyone had a solid chance of making the top 10. Despite interest in the Wii dwindling by the early 2010s, Mario Kart Wii's online scene was super active. However, it was announced in February 2014 that Nintendo WFC would be shutting down on May 20th of that same year. This is where a skillful modder by the name of Weem steps in. He had been analyzing the online packets for Mario Kart Wii since 2012, and after hearing about this, work on a replacement server had started. On May 10th, 2014, just 10 days before WFC was set to shut down, Weem 5 was released. This meant that there really wasn't a period of time where people couldn't play the game online. Even though Mario Kart Wii was the only game supported at the launch of Wii Fi, it has gone to support several other games and even WiiWare titles too. At the end of the day, Nintendo WFC succeeded at what it set out to be, a simple, safe, and free service. It was evident that it brought some amazing moments of all sorts and across multiple games too, as it was more than an online service, it was a way for people to connect with greater communities. Thanks to WeemFi, both new and veteran players can still enjoy the games that support WFC to this day. I guess that's to say, Mario Kart Wii is more than just a game. It was a global community where each race, battle, time trial brought us closer as a community as we competed to be on top of the world.